What is up, guys? Welcome back to the videos. Mike from JDM Icon here, and in this video I'm going to tell you 5 reasons why you should buy a Nissan 350Z. So the Nissan 350Z has been one of my all-time dream cars ever since I was a kid, since like the first time I've seen it in Need for Speed Underground 2, and that was the first car you play in the game, and ever since then it has been like a dream car of mine, and I just knew that one day I'm gonna own a Z car for myself. And now that I'm 22 years old, I finally have one, and personally this is my favorite generation. So the Nissan 350Z is the 5th generation of the Nissan Z car and was made from 2002 to 2009 with a few variations in between. The one I have right now is what we call the DE motor. It has about just under 300 horsepower. I believe from 2005 to 2006 or 7 they came out with the Rev Up, which brings the red line all the way up to 7,000, which gave the car a little bit more power, but it did burn more oil. And then the holy grail of all 350Zs is what we call the HR. It has the higher red line and more reliability under the hood with dual intakes, and I believe makes just over 300 horsepower. And in case you guys don't know, this is a front engine, rear-wheel drive, 2-seater sports car. A lot of people look at this car as the next Silvia or the next S chassis, in a sense, if you guys are into drifting, stuff like that. Since lately all the prices of the S chassis have gone through the roof, and I've even seen some S chassis sell for over 30,000 for a nice, clean, unmolested example. And because this car comes with an LSD, a 6-speed manual, and about 300 horsepower, it is an awesome platform to go drifting in. So that's why a lot of people are looking at the Z chassis as the next Silvia. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into the video. The first point of why you should own a 350Z is the reliability. Now, given a lot of mechanics say that the 350Z is a little bit of a bitch to work on under the hood, but with a proper maintenance, these cars are actually really reliable, and they're not too bad on gas. And if you guys are like me and you like working on your own cars, there are tons and tons of information online from forums, websites, Facebook groups, and honestly anything telling you guys about the proper maintenance, what oils you should use, what spare parts you should get, and stuff like that. There's a ton of information online, which is really good if you want to save a couple bucks as opposed to going to an actual shop and getting work done. It's always cheaper to do it yourself. Alright, so number 2 on our list has to be the fact that there are so much parts for this car, from aftermarket to OEM replacements. Because this generation Z car has been going down in price, a ton of people, especially young guys, have been buying it. And let's just be honest here, when you're young and you have a sporty car like this, sometimes you write it off, right? Because that happens, there's a bunch of spares for this. Even though if you get into an accident, a lot of the suspension components might be usable. Because of that, there are a bunch of part outs everywhere. Because the Z chassis was also used in the G35 and the engines were actually used in a bunch of different models, the spare parts for this car is actually really cheap and affordable, which makes it awesome to own if you're using it as a stance car, drift car, or just a build in general. From engine, suspension, body panels, interior pieces, you can find parts for these cars almost anywhere for dirt cheap if you're lucky. Having parts that cheap is always a plus when owning a car like this. This is kind of related to the last point, but for my third point, I wanted to mention the amount of aftermarket support there is for just this chassis. It's honestly crazy. I wanted to make it its own point because not everyone wants to modify their car, and I get that. But if you're someone like me and I love modifying their car, adding their own twist to it, changing the rim, lowering the car, whatever you want to do, the 350Z is honestly such a good chassis for that. It's almost like a faster BRZ. If that makes sense. Like I said, this thing makes 300 horsepower and it has just as much aftermarket support as the BRZ. If your style is wide bodies and bagging the car, drifting, tracking, and even drag racing the car, there are so much information and aftermarket support for just this chassis. It is insane. Personally, I want to just have a simple seat time car, what I can take to the track daily and not have to worry about anything. And yes, I do slide this car and I drive it in the Canadian winter. It's my daily. If that doesn't say enough, this car is actually really, really reliable. The only downfall I can think of is you can't fit a lot of stuff in it. It's a two-door sports car, what can you expect? But going back to the aftermarket parts, they're actually also really affordable. Like my front lip right here, I got it for 50 bucks. 50 bucks. This rear lip here is by KVD. This rear lip was about $120. Again, that's not too bad for a rear lip. This wing was a little bit more expensive. This was about $300, but still, a front lip, rear lip, and the duckbill, and the car looks insane. It looks so good. If you're into modifying cars and you want a car to kind of spend some money on, you can either break the bank with this car, or you can go like a budget build, kind of like myself. It's honestly a really good platform because this Z is just so versatile with what you can do with it. It's almost like a Swiss Army knife of JDM cars. Alright, so my fourth reason why you should own this car. Honestly, the price point. There are a bunch of different cars that I could compare the 350Z to, like the BRZ, the newer version, the 370Z, the S2000. They're all like two-door sports cars. But for the price, the 350Z is the cheapest and you get a lot of car out of it. If you can... I can't believe I'm saying this in the middle of the video, but just ignore the goose that's quacking at the back. Because this motherfucker right here is just going to town, just... Buddy, shut up. And it's just him too. Who are you talking to? Alright, he's just gonna chill? Oh no, he's still going. He's just preaching over there. What the hell is he doing? As I was saying, the 350Z is honestly with the 350Z, you get a lot of car for the money. You can find 350Zs anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000 depending on the mileage, the overall condition. You can find them with a 6-speed manual transmission, which is pretty solid from the factory. If you get an HR, those transmissions are insanely strong, and I heard they can handle up to like 1200 horsepower. People are using 350Z transmissions in Supras. That says a lot. Dude, like, what are you doing? Shut up! What is this guy doing? I swear to God, I'm gonna go over there and just say something to him. What? What? You gonna shut up now? You gonna shut up now? Go away. Shut up. I missed. But okay, maybe you're not about the horsepower or like the driving feel of the car, because that's what the 350Z does really well. Even the interior of the car, it honestly looks pretty good, and it doesn't look too old compared to some of the cars that are on the market right now. And you guys know this isn't a JDM Icon video without one of these. Really? Really? This motherfucker moved all the way in front of me so he can be in the video. I swear to God. There's more of them too. You guys want to play? All right. That's what I thought. Shut the fuck up. So for my last and final point for this video, I know this car isn't exactly a JDM icon in a sense that it's not like an OG like the R34 GTR, the R32, the Mark IV Supra, the S chassis. But I would consider this as a future icon because just like those cars before, they were marketed to us in video games, in movies, magazines, just like those cars were. Because this car isn't exactly a 90s car, lots of people don't consider it like an icon. All icons don't have to come from the 90s. I'd consider this a JDM icon as well. Maybe a few years down the road once there are less of them on the road or something like that. Still, this car to me is really iconic because just like how I said in the beginning of the video, this was the car that I kind of dreamed of having when I would be older. I've always wanted a 350Z, just like the one in the video game, just like the one in the magazines that I was looking into. And to me, this car has always been super cool, and it's especially the potential and what you can do with a 350Z is really out of this world. To me, it's the perfect blank slate. It's like the perfect canvas for whatever build you want to get into. Alright, so that is all the time we have for today. I hope this video kind of opened your eyes and kind of helped you guys make a choice. If you are looking into getting a 350Z, I would highly recommend it. I drive it all year round, and honestly it does decently well in the snow. If you see what it's like driving this car in the snow on summer tires, click over here and check out our last video because we had a massive snowfall one day. But anyways, it's all starting to melt, so I'll see you guys in the next video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but the geese finally stopped quacking. So if you guys want to check out another video without quacking, check out the 2 videos I have in front of you right now. You won't regret it. Alright guys, I'll see you guys later.